Hey, this is Jonathan from Roadable, and this video is part of a series on how to send quotes with Roadable. Specifically in this video, we're going to look at the company match feature and the bulk actions on the response page. So essentially, I'm going to cover how to prepare your quote before you send it. Okay, so when we want to quote something in Roadable, we need to respond to an RFQ. So I'll start by going to the RFQ inbox by clicking here. And here we see all of my RFQs that haven't been responded to yet. So I'll just choose this one to respond to. And to do that, I'm going to click into it like so. And this brings up the response page. Okay, so again, we're going to focus on preparing the form with a couple of topics. We'll start with the company match, which is this icon here, also shown here. This is something you want to be aware of before you send a quote. So many of our customers have an ERP system connected to Roadable, and if you do, the quotes that you send through Roadable will be logged to your ERP. But in order for Roadable to do that, the buyer company on the RFQ needs to be matched to a buyer company within your ERP. And so Roadable will always try to do that automatically, and this icon will show the status of that match. So in fact, what we're seeing here is a good match. We've got the blue icon, it says automatically matched from original company. But there are some cases where Roadable might not be able to make a match. The main one would be if you get a request from a company that you've just never done business before and you don't have them in the list. If that happens, if Roadable is unable to make the match, you will see a red circle icon here instead of this blue icon. And the way that you can remedy that is by making the match manually. To do that, you just click the icon. That'll bring up the company match window. And what you're seeing here is a complete list of the buyer companies from your ERP. And so you just want to find the correct one to match the request to. You can scroll through it. You can search. And once you've found it, just select it and click Save. And that'll save the new match. If you don't have the company in your list and you'd like to create it, you can do so by clicking Create New Company here. Roadable will ask for a few basic details on the company, and then what will happen is Roadable will actually add that company to your ERP at the same time that it inserts the quote that you're sending. So yeah, just to repeat the point, it's a good idea to keep an eye on this icon as you're sending quotes to ensure that they all get logged to your ERP. But in this case, we've got a good match, so we can start preparing our quote. What I'm going to go over next is the bulk actions buttons here. I guess just to take one step back, when you first open the response page, Roadable is going to populate the lines with information from the request, exactly as it was requested. So that's what you're seeing here. But you can change anything about this on the quote that you're sending, and these buttons are useful for that. So we have duplicate line item, mark no quote, remove line item, and split into new RFQ. So duplicate line item will copy one or more line items on the quote that you're sending. Let's say, so in this case, we have this part number requested in OH condition. Let's say I want to quote that, but I also have it in NE condition, and I'd like to provide a quote for that as well. So I'll just select it, click duplicate, adds the line at the bottom, and I'll just change the condition code. And in this case, obviously, you'd want to change the price as well. Next one is mark no quote. So if you want to quote some of the lines on a request but leave others as a no quote, you can just select one or more and click mark no quote. You'll see the sale type was changed to no quote, and the rest of the fields here were grayed out. One quick aside, we do have a show preview toggle at the top right here that can be used to show what the quote email looks like as you're putting it together. So if I turn that on, you can see those lines that I just set to no quote. They will look like this on the quote, just price type no quote. So I'll turn that off. Next one is remove line item. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you'd like to remove a line item from the quote entirely, just use this. Then finally, we have split into new RFQ. So what this will do is you can select multiple or one or more line items. And then if you click split into new RFQ, it will remove these line items from your quote that you're sending now, but it will actually add a new RFQ to your inbox in Roadable with only these line items. So useful in cases where you want to quote some lines on a request, but save the rest for later. One other quick note, we have a reset form button in the top left here. So let's say you were making changes such as to the line items as I just was, and you want to go back to the original request. You can always just click reset form to change it back to the original. Okay, so that's it for this video. In the next video, we'll look at filling out the response form and sending a quote. Thank you very much.